I'm gonna get the information now in a moment. What I will do then is I will get the characters to introduce themselves, starting with Andrew, please.
So sorry I didn't post a description up there.
No worries.
Um, so I'm playing Tallow. Tallow is a Tabaxi monk, the Kensei specialization. Um, Tallow kind of did the usual Tabaxi thing where they uh, decide to wander off and wander the world and see the world. They joined a circus briefly, where they were a primarily a tumbler, but also learned a bunch of other skills in the circus, including how to use a whip, which is their first Kensei weapon. um, and then in the travels with the circus, they happened to pass by a monastery, and because Talos of Tabaxi decided to go join the monastery for a little while and learn how to fight hand to hand and how to use a bow. The main thing about Talo is that they're not actually a warrior or a fighter at all. They're kind of an idiot savant with their weapons. So they're really good with the whip and really good with the bow, but they're not actually a warrior or a fighter in any way. They just happen to be really good with these things. So yeah, that's about it.
No worries. And what's the character's name? Is that
Tallow.
Tallow is the name.
Talo.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
And what's your dex modifier, sir?
+3.
Got it. +3. Nice. Your armor class, please.
And armor class is 15.
Okay. Sorry.
And I should have.
Yep.
I was just gonna say, instead of taking the ability score improvement, I took the lucky feat instead for the level 4. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't mind. Hit points, of course, sir.
31.
Got it. And is there any DC that I need to know about?
Oh shoot, yeah, the key DC, which I can't remember how to calculate. Why don't you move on? I'll put it in the chat in just a sec.
Okay. No worries. Then we'll move through to Easy. Easy is playing Anatoly Ivanov, I believe, and you go ahead and tell us all about your character.
Right. So, Anatoly is an Asmar paladin. Was raised out. Oh, if I'm reading this right, was raised towards the west. In a family of wood elves. The Asimar genes basically were very latent in her family. Magical shenanigans happen like they do sometimes. So, she grew up pretty happy. Never missed a visit to Chanti's shrine outside of the city's proper. And at 16, she set out on her own path to become a paladin of Palor. She was on a trip back home and saw her town just in disrepair and ruin, and found her family tied up in some nasty rituals revolving around Ouijas, and attempted to stop them. But she was unable to breach the circles in time. As soon as she kind of set foot into the summoning circles, she felt just this surge of just anger and bloodlust and adrenaline, and ended up um, murdering her family, starting this kind of internal war between, oh shit, I did something horrific,
Yeah.
thanks Ouijas, but also Palor. And it started for about 2 years, just kind of trying to repent, but without any kind of confirmation from Palor. She just kind of lost faith overall.
Oh, love it. Backstory's awesome, man. If I can get your dex modifier there, please.
Yeah, totally. My dex modifier is +1. I do have plate, I think, on,
Okay.
if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that. That's
Sorry,
cool.
chainmail, my bad.
Ah, you got chain. Cool. Awesome stuff. And armor class, please.
19.
Okay. Hit points.
40.
And any DC I need to know about.
Charisma. That's the main thing with a lot of the paladin spells for me. That's going to be 11.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. And next I have in line is Justin. Justin Thomas, please, sir, if you go ahead and introduce your character to us.
Okay, so my character is Jokir P. Weisenheimer. He's a jester from a well, he tells people different origins here and there. No one really knows what's true and what's BS. But he happens to go around towns, entertaining the masses, uh, and he just loves leaving his audience in stitches, figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
Well, those that happen to live through it at least. And he happened to one day, while in a bar, hearing about the current predicament this woman was having from someone who was actually hired to go do the job, and then suddenly they mysteriously disappeared, and he decided to do the job for himself. So spent time going he spent time from the town he was at through all these different towns, entertaining, I say with air quotes, people, till he eventually got to the town in question, and now he's just ready to do his thing. He's ready to do his gig.
Awesome, man. And yes, sir, if I can get your dex modifier there.
My dex modifier is +2.
Yes, sir. Armor class.
My armor class with plate is my arm. Oh, not plate. My armor class with studded leather will be a 14, but I guess just put a notation of a 16 next to it, because I have the invocation where I can cast Mage Armor at will.
Okay, got it. Awesome stuff. And your hit points, sir?
36.
Okay. And any DC I need to know about?
My spell save DC is a 14.
Okay, cool. And then we have Crystal. If you can go ahead, tell us about the character you'll be playing today.
Yeah, I'm playing a rogue assassin. She goes by the name of Blackleaf. She was originally born in Coriowan City, where she was the twin sister of April O'Neil. Her name originally was May O'Neil, but her sister, who was really like outgoing and kind of like the star of the show, she didn't really fit in with that life and ended up running away and joining with a criminal organization that had ties to this other higher organization known as the Foot Clan. And eventually, because she was so good at what she did, just hardly ever getting caught, and when she did get caught, just keeping her mouth shut. Eventually, the Foot Clan came to her and offered to bring her into the inner circle. And there she was trained as a ninja for a few years before she caught the eye of the leader of the organization, a man known by the name of Master Shredder. And from there, she trained with him personally as his personal assistant. But unfortunately for her, these turtles kind of people came, and they had also been trained in the way of the ninja, and even though it was kind of laughable to think that these guys would even have a chance against her master, they managed to knock him off the top of a tall tower before she was able to get to him. But because his body was never recovered, she's convinced that her master is alive, but that his spirit is broken. So now she travels the lands, hoping to find her master and mend his spirit so that he can come take back over the Foot Clan and they can defeat those nasty turtles once and for all. She's heard rumors that Master Shredder has been seen in this area. So she figures if she helps out these town folks, it might loosen their lips a little bit, and she might be able to gain information as to where her master is at.
Awesome. And if I can get Blackleaf's Dex modifier, please.
Yeah, her Dex modifier is a +3.
Got it. Armor class.
14.
Okay. Hit points.
31.
31. Got it. Any DC I need to know of?
She doesn't have any spells, but I will let you know that she's a human variant. And I took 2 feats. I took the alert feat, which doesn't grant advantage versus hidden creatures. I can't be surprised, and I get a +5 to initiative.
Awesome.
And
I'm gonna-
then I took the dungeon. Huh?
I'm just going to say I'm going to count on you to remind me of that because I'm going to forget.
Okay.
No.
And then I I'll add, like, when I roll initiative, I will, add my +5.
Awesome.
And then I have the dungeon delver feat, so I have advantage on checking to find secret doors, save versus traps, and resistance versus traps. Oh, and I don't have to move slowly to search for traps.
Alrighty. Cool. Then we are coming to Richie. Richie, go ahead. Tell us about your character, please.
Okay. Patricia was born to was born to parents who had, her mother had latent angel blood in her, and her father had latent devil blood in her. This led to, they were both servants of the Triad. That would be Torm, Elmater, and Tyr.
Yep.
And they prayed they prayed for help with the pregnancy because it wasn't going well and they did not know why. One of the most powerful beings that a god can send helped straighten the pregnancy out in disguise, using a placebo medication and actually using divine magic to boost her angelic side up substantially so that it was no longer a power struggle between the fiendish and the angelic side, and the angelic side just overwhelmed the fiendish part. She grew up and she grew up with the guidance of her parents and trying to become a priestess of the Triad herself, but it wasn't till her middle teen years when she finally met a divine soul of the Triad, and someone in the divine soul that she met recognized her as being more of a candidate for the innate casting of a divine soul as opposed to the practiced casting of a cleric. She took off with this new I guess you could say, training method. This new carefree training method, and her best friend that she summoned by accident is a white raven named Starfall. You're familiar too.
Yep.
She heard about the necessity of this town to have help through her temple, and she decided that she would answer the call. Yeah, I didn't want to read off her. I didn't want to read verbatim her
Oh.
character back history.
Oh, that's okay. So I'm gonna make Starlight number 7. So we'll play the Magnificent. So somehow the familiar Starlight will play a role. So Richie, if we can just get perhaps Patricia's Dex modifier, please.
+0.
0.
Mhm.
Okay. Armor class, please.
17.
Got it. Hit points.
Wait a second.
No worries.
28.
Got it. Okay. And any DC I need to know about, sir?
The only one you theoretically should need to know about is her sorcerer DC. Everything else is isn't things that would be resisted. But her sorcerer DC is 13.
Got it. Okay. And I guess Starlight has now made the 7th. Does Starlight have any, I guess, you did send me the character sheet, but just give me Dex, armor class, hit points, etc.
Okay. Starlight's armor class, or Starfall's armor class, I changed the name to Starfall, but anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got
Starfall's armor class is 14. Dex modifier is +2.
it. Yeah.
And you okayed it having once per day cure light wound or cure wounds at first level.
Yeah, that's cool. And Starfall's hit points?
Starfall's hit points are 5.
5. Got it. Okay. Thank you, sir. And then we'll go on to Robert. If you can tell us about Hugo, please.
Yeah. So Hugo is an elven wizard. He grew up on the streets of Waterdeep. He's been an orphan for as long as he can remember. And he led a fairly harsh life in the early years. When he was 8, he purely by accident tried to pick the pocket of a archmage named Manisul, and as a result of this coming together, for want of a better expression, he became Manisul's apprentice for a number of years. Sometime on his 16th birthday, Manisul decided that it was time to sacrifice Hugo to summon a demon of extreme power and questionable morals. So this didn't sit that well with Hugo, and there was a fisticuffs, which left Manisul dead, ultimately stabbed in the throat. So Hugo, being kind of 16 and not really knowing what to do, he kind of fled, and he now kind of hides out a bit, not quite sure whether he's safe or whether the guards and the law are looking for him, and he kind of just hides in the kind of slums, helping people as best he can, and he avoids fame and publicity or any risk of drawing attention to himself. But can always be relied upon to step up when needed to help people less fortunate than himself.
Awesome. And if I can just get your Dex modifier, please.
2
Got it. And your armor class?
is 12, but I do have mage armor, so it's 12/15.
Got it. Give me a sec. 12 plus 15. Okay. Hit points?
30.
And your DC, sir?
13.
Okay. Thanks very much, guys. So we've got six players plus the White Raven. So obviously introductions took quite long. It's going to be challenging because we've got a large group here, but I think it's going to be quite entertaining. The whole game, as you would have guessed, is based off of the Magnificent 7. And the way that it ties in is you are all heroes, whether you want to be heroes or not. Some of you might want to be, some of you might not want to be. In other words, you could be a reluctant hero. Perhaps Anatoly might be a reluctant hero. But the point is, at some level in your being, a story resonated with you. A story by a woman named Laura, who hails from the village of Yulbrina. And Yulbrina lies in the northern icy lands, and it is being terrorized by Calvera. And Calvera is a nasty character. He is an orc, but he has a army. He's literally got an army that he is commanding that's made up of goblinoids. Some human ruffians have joined the Calvera's army, and they've, for all intents and purposes, become these terrible brigands and bandits. And they would murder a person, they would kidnap a person, they would rape a person without giving it a second thought. And poor Laura came up to you with all a similar story, tears streaming down her eyes, crying, sniffing, finding it hard to breathe because she had exhaled so much oxygen, and saying that Calvera is coming back. He's murdered our men, he's raped our women, and he's kidnapped our children. The icy paths leading to Yulbrina is melting, and Yulbrina will be back. It's just now a matter of weeks. And that story essentially reached through to your hearts. And I want to welcome you all to the Magnificent Seven. Okay, so unless you folk want to role play with Laura herself, what I was hoping to do is fast forward to as you're coming over the ridge. The ridge is white, covered with snow, but it is melting. And as you come over, you're looking down into a valley, and lying at the bottom of the valley is the quaint town of Yulbrina. What do you guys do? Just let me preface this by saying, is there any role playing you wanted to do with Laura herself?
No, but real quick, out of character,
Yep.
could everyone, if you're able to, type your character's name in chat so we can all keep up with it, because there's so many players.
I feel like there's something that we should be asking Yulbrina, but I can't think of what it would be right now.
You want to ask Yulbrina?
I feel like there's something we should be asking her
All right.
about the enemy, but I don't know what it's at the edge of my mind, and I can't think of what it is right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully there's enough time before they attack.
So I'll turn to Laura and just about how much time would it be before the ice melts? What kind of supplies do they have? Just your general basic. What can I do to kind of change this around a little bit? See what kind of resources, etc.
Well, Calvera comes without warning. He comes from the west. We've got a road, what we call the Western Road, and his forces come from the east. And they come from both sides. And those are the main entrances into our town. And we're a God-fearing people. We pray to Timora. Timora, we give homage to Timora and the earth. And we work the lands. And our farmers have been exceptionally lucrative when it comes to being blessed by Timora. And he comes in and he steals our food, he steals our wheat, he steals our fruit, and he steals supplies. And when those run out, he comes back. And each time he comes back, it's more and more violent. It's more and more violent, Anatoly, and we are all at the end of our tether.
Alright.
So, Joe Kier is just gonna walk up to her, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, cheer up, Glum. I'm sure everything will be just fine. I'm sure after this is all over, everything's gonna be smiles, lots of smiles." and he like minor illusions, minor illusions a smiley face over her sad face.
And it helps. She's clearly a woman that is traumatized, and in fact, she has admitted her husband as being one of the victims of Calvera. She says to you, Joker, you are kind. You are the person that we need, the type that we've sought out. I know, Joker, that you and your allies will do us good, will do us fine.
He'll just to try to cheer up the folks. He's gonna be like, "Gather around, everyone. Gather around. Uncle Joker's gonna perform some tricks for you." And he starts. He uses like kind of like green flame blade to like light his daggers on fire, and he's juggling them for them, entertaining the kids and whatnot.
Tallow is definitely delighted by that and joins in. He was in the circus.
I'm just gonna pull out a flask and just start drinking and enjoying the merriment.
Well, I guess Patricia is going to ask, if there's anybody in the town who's still currently suffering injuries from the last attack, and
well, you are you're sitting on the ridge now, looking down at the village of Yulbrina. It took you about 5 days' ride, so to speak. So there's very possible still people with injuries down in the town area. There were some severely hurt people.
okay.
Upon hearing that, Anasoil is kind of volunteer, like, I may not be able to do much, but I can do something.
Thank you. And she starts leading you downwards, and the horses start descending down the valley, and you can hear their hooves in the snow as you join the Western Road. The Western Road is the main road into the village of Yulbrina, and you can already see that outside there is a crowd that's gathered, and there are some kids, and they're starting to chase the horses, and they're like and they see Joker with his tricks and spells, and they're like giggling, and they can't get enough. And you start going towards the the village of Yilbrino. It is, as I say, at the base of a sort of a shallow canyon, and it's not very well protected in terms of the boundaries of the town. It's pretty ramshackle, to say the least. Maybe because of previous attacks. You can certainly see that there are to the northwest part of the town. So you're coming from the west, so it will be slightly to your left. There is a high-rise tower. You can see it's been dedicated to the worship of the gods, most likely Timora. Further in the town, quite a high point of the town is the town tower itself, but it's actually blackened and ruined. Other than that, the town is exceptionally quaint. There is wooden buildings, typical thatch roofs with snow sitting on top, starting to thin out, starting to melt. And on the left side of the canyon's not the quite right word. It's not deep enough to be a canyon, but there is a forest on the northern part of the town. You approached from the southern part of the town and have started going down towards it. It's in a little sort of a dip. For the life of me, I can't remember the right name. And it's on the south side, where you came from, is more grassy grasslands, rolling hills, and that's very different to the northern part, which is sort of becoming a densely forested area. The west road leads out towards grasslands, and the east road winds its way and eventually turns north into the forested lands.
As they're traveling like along the road, before we get to the village or anything, Blackleaf is just gonna talk to the group and say, listen, I have some questions to ask this leader guy. He possibly has some information that I need. So just don't kill him before I get to interrogate him. That's my only request.
I mean, if he dies, he dies. Sorry. But
I mean, if he dies by your hand before I get to interrogate him, I will kill you. I'm just so, I mean, do what you want.
wouldn't be the first one to try.
Joke
I will
here
be the first to succeed, though.
Joke here is going to, as he's hearing this, he's just backing up. He's still juggling those knives, but he's just with his mask on and everything. He's just looking at the both of you, and he's just like, "Smiles, everyone. There's no need for this hostility. There'll be plenty of fun to be had."
I'm going to fly up and begin.
And then he also puts the smiley face minor illusion over both your faces. It's like, yeah, that's better. Smiles for everyone. Smiles.
And the kids are loving it while you're trying to kind of dissolve the tensions between the paladin and the rogue assassin. You can definitely hear the crowd that's enjoying it the most are the kids that are giggling in the background.
Even though there's a big, like, painted smile on my face, my eyes still say, like, misery and bitterness.
I'll raise my flask up and just kind of cheers and take a swig.
By the way, Justin, good job on channeling Mark Hamill.
Thank you.
Richie, what is Starfall doing at the moment?
Well, Starfall is flying up, and I'm currently looking through Starfall's eyes. I am examining places where I should cut a trench with mold earth to basically moat the town off.
Okay. So I actually drew a map of this town, and I must apologize. My scanner is on the fritz. So and I'm quite happy because it's getting recorded. So this is all out of game, and everyone would have seen my bad artwork. So I'm going to try my best to kind of describe it to everyone. Okay, so so you're looking at the best way to kind of protect the town. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, I'm going to be using mold earth to make a moat and use mold earth to make earthwork embankments to reinforce the houses.
Okay, cool. Well, from a bird's eye view, you're getting just the forest to the north. You're getting smoke coming out of the chimney stacks. You see your troop of adventurers coming on the west road with Laura leading the way. The snow is thinning out, that's for sure. You can start seeing, the grass underneath is almost visible. Now, the interesting thing that you can see is that it's fertile land. This is certainly fertile land. When she said that they were having success farming, you can definitely see why.
Quick out of character question: Is this primarily a farming village, or is there some other sort of village industry that they partake in?
I think this is agricultural.
Yeah, primarily agricultural. There is an industrial area, which I noted on my map, which is on the sort of northwest side of town. But industry there is primarily focused on agriculture. The more kind of, rougher industry would be constrained to a blacksmith or something like that.
Okay.
Is there any buildings in town that aren't timber, that are stone?
Yeah, so definitely the temple to the north west. As you're coming in, it's now moving more to the north sides because you're starting to actually enter the town. So it's on, it's almost right to your left as you enter the west side of town. It is a temple to Timora. It's actually quite a spectacular and beautiful building given how rural this village is. And there is a town tower that's visible because it's much taller and is made out of stone. But as I said before, it seems to have been set on fire because the stoneworks is blackened. A lot of the a lot of the windows, all the windows have been kicked out, so to speak, and those are the two stone ones. Guys, could you just hold for one moment? I'm just getting a call. I think it might be urgent. I beg your pardon. I really, really apologize. Bear with me one moment.
I thought Justin's character was getting a call.
Yeah, that's okay.
Justin, what's your character's name again?
Joe Kier. Joe Kier P. Weisenheimer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Kier, Penny Weisenheimer, just Joker Pennywise.
All right, I'm just gonna put John down so we'll know.
So, I mean, Haley's phone,
Are you? Oh, I'm sorry. You said Joe Kier. I thought you said John Kier.
all right, but
No.
I think it would be great if you just called him John, though.
Yeah, I probably will.
all right, okay, bye.
Let's see. Well, his actual name, I guess, would be John Napier.
I'm so sorry, guys. I had to take that. Shit hit the fan tonight, but anyways, another story.
problem.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the two stone buildings. Everything else is relatively rural in all respects. The homes look comfortable, but they are wooden. The roofs look like they would keep the heat in during the winter. They thatch. There are chimneys coming out of the thatch roofs, and you can see that most of the houses have indeed got smoke coming out. There are a couple of thatch roofs you can see that are actually being repaired, as if they were recently damaged.
So Tallow's been kind of dancing around with Joker, entertaining the children. He keeps doing this thing where he sweeps this robe around him, and somehow every time he does it, when he opens the robe back up, he's wearing a different outfit, with different colors and different sort of adornments and accoutrements and everything. And obviously the kids think it's hilarious, I assume. But as he's kind of dancing around, are we talking to like a village leader right now? Is that kind of the context of what's happening?
Excellent question. So you now have you've ridden into Yulbrina. You can see there is now a congregation of individuals in front of you. If somebody perhaps wants to give me a perception check, might as well get the dice rolling. Yeah.
I'll roll perception.
Yeah.
Roll on what?
Can any of us roll perception?
Yeah. You all. I mean, I would expect everyone's kind of vigilant. Going into the town now. There's a little bit of adrenaline and excitement, so everyone certainly can.
I rolled a natural. I
for
rolled a natural 16, 20 with modifiers.
Okay.
10.
10.
21 for me.
Okay.
14 total.
Let's see.
Okay. So
Let's see.
I'm going to say, because it's very slight, unfortunately, Anatoly, you do miss this, but there is a kind of a look between what looks like a village elder. Something passes between the village elder and Laura, and the best guess is that the village elder looks a little bit displeased.
Understandably.
Yeah. Well, Laura, I see that you've brought your army with you. He almost says condescendingly, and then he walks forward and he goes, "My name is Ivan. I am the burgomaster of this town, and I want to welcome you to the village of Yulbrina."
Tallow just kind of dances up, like I said, flipping his robe around, and he kind of flips it in front of him, does a little twirl, and comes out of it wearing very formal, sort of courtly clothes, and does a bow. Says, "Hello."
I tell you what, give me a performance check there.
Boy, low charisma, but at least I'm proficient.
Yeah.
Not bad. 19 plus 2, so 21.
Okay, so there's kind of like from a few of the people around you, and there's kind of from Ivan, like, "Most amusing. And that's how you think you're going to beat Calvera." And he says, "Please come this way. Let us meet in the town hall."
Blackleaf is going to kind of slide away from the group a little bit. She would like to kind of look around using her thieves' cant. See if she can spot someone, a building or something that might be a potential fence, or anyone that might be associated with any kind of criminal activity. It might be a slim chance in a village like this, but
yeah, it is
information?
a slim chance. But I like your thinking, and I will give you a point of inspiration for that. I think that's very cool. Yeah, you're kind of doing these weird thieves' cant gestures, but it's largely ignored. Are you slipping completely away from the group?
No, I'm just going to slip back about 10, 15 feet.
Okay, no worries. So I was just kind of thinking if you needed to do a stealth check there, but that's okay. You kind of doing your thieves' cant, but there doesn't seem to be much of a recognition of it.
I mean, like, I do kind of want to be sneaky about what I'm doing, so I could do like a sleight of hand if you want.
Yeah, I'll let you. So do the sleight of hand, but anybody that understands thieves' cant will certainly see it. So go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I only got a total of 11. Darn.
Okay, that's all right. I mean, it kind of makes sense though, Blackleaf, because it's a really kind of, I think, base village. It's not much developed. I mean, to walk from one side to the other side won't take long at all. And if there really was a thieves guild, perhaps they would have sort of mounted some sort of resistance against Calvera, and that's not the case.
Yeah. All right. So yeah.
It's worth asking. Does anybody else know Thieves' Cant?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think any of our other characters would, so it's kind of a moot point anyway for noticing.
Well, anyway,
I
Starfall
got you if you try to talk to Elle.
Do you
was
follow?
going to be
I beg your pardon. Go ahead.
Patricia is going to be going with them, but she's going to be channeling mending through Starfall, and Starfall was going to land and help repair the roofs.
Okay.
Starfall's going to say, I'm a familiar, so
Perfect. Okay.
he's basically a spellcaster's pet.
Yeah.
So-
I just wanted to double check, Rich. The familiar can't attack. It can do anything else. But as far as I understand, the familiar doesn't attack. Is that your understanding as well?
As long as it's not a warlock's familiar.
Okay, cool. Alrighty.
A warlock can get in for a pseudo dragon or a
Oh.
pixie or a little angel or something.
Okay. I'm assuming you guys are following Ivan through this sort of streets. It's a pretty basic town in terms of navigation. He walks through. He walks from the west side through to the east side, but about halfway through, you can see on the left side and on the right side of Main Road, there's marketplace, an open marketplace, where all sorts of things are being sold. Before the marketplace ends, he actually takes a little bit of a. He takes a turn to the left, goes up for about 150 feet or so, and you can see quite a large thatched building. And it looks, they've tried to make it as regal as possible amongst these, the basicness of the village. But clearly this is the town hall. Inside, there is a table, a long table with chairs along it. There is a hearth on both sides of the building, with chimneys leading upwards from both sides. There is fire on both sides of the building. There are a few. There's a few pictures on the wall, just kind of decorative. And then he motions for you guys to sit at the table.
Find the comfiest chair and just kind of plop down and spread out a little bit.
Turn the chair to my side because with wings, it's not that comfortable to set
Yeah.
and lean back against them.
I want to make it very clear to all of you that your coming here was against my wishes. If we do as Calvera wants, he usually leaves us in peace. It's just the last time he came here, unfortunately, our crop was not fully ripened, and it wasn't fully processed, and it wasn't fully picked, and we suffered the consequences for that. But he is a man with many men behind him, more than you. I just count 6 of you. What can you 6 possibly do against an orc like this? Calvera is a beast. He's a murderer. He's a killer. But he leaves us in peace when we give him what he wants. Laura went without our permission. And now I've got more trouble on my hands. What must I do?
Well, it seems like in comparison to the rest of your town, we're the best chance that you have of trying to do anything about this, because I'm sure your people don't like having their crops taken.
That is true. But let me ask you, what can you possibly do to protect us?
Well, I don't know about the rest of my compatriots here, and I'm gonna look off to the side of everybody. I'm assuming that we all look pretty kitted out. Am I correct in that?
Sorry, just say that again. Rob, if you can just mute. I think your dice in there.
Sorry, yeah.
No worries. Okay, sorry about that. If you could just go again, easy.
You're good. I don't know about the rest of my compatriots. I'm gonna kind of look around. I'm assuming that we all look fairly kitted out, like have our weapons, have some kind of armor. We look like competent people.
Oh yeah. You look competent. That's for
No.
sure. Except one looks like a clown.
I-
Yeah.
I do not.
I mean, that's fine. But listen, everyone has swords, so I think that works.
My worry, and please do not take this the wrong way. My worry is, you are small in number. What can you possibly do?
Okay.
We can kill goblins and orcs and ruffians. And maybe you should judge us by the amount that we have killed rather than the number that we are.
Joker is gonna be like, all right, kiddies. Uncle Jokey needs to do some adult business, but I'll be back. And he stops juggling and lets the knives just fall to the ground.
And
Except for one, he's just mage handing one behind him.
and you just hear the laughter, like, and the kids loving it. Oh.
And he's just gonna walk up.
There is
He's
what for me to
just-
do too.
he's just going to now I can't use mage hand to attack someone, so I'm just going to not fling it like directly at their feet, but I'm just gonna toss a flaming dagger just like nearby, just to land in the ground and just be like, well, I mean I can do that, and I can do that, and just toss another one nearby, and I can do that too. I mean, I guess since you called us here, that right there is better than what you're capable of. So maybe you should shut up.
I'd like to channel Sinful Sense and just kind of get a feel for the elder, because everybody has something in their closet. Everybody has a couple of skeletons.
Okay.
And take an action to observe if he has any kind of characteristics of what he's done, if he's done anything.
He seems like a grey character to you. Okay, so there's no outright evil that is emanating from him, but he kind of maybe perhaps looks out for numero uno, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so having the guy and just listen. You're not here for these people. You're here for yourself. What makes you think that any of them are gonna trust you if you duck and run like you're trying to? If you want these people to still follow you, you need us.
Okay. Is there anybody else that's going to make an argument? What I would do is I would get Anatoly, and if I can get Joker to make persuasion checks for me, please.
Persuasion.
Blackleaf is just going to say, look, whether these people, whether they go to kill this guy or not, I have some personal business with him. So he's dead either way. You might as well let them do what they're going to do. They can at least serve as a distraction for me.
Let's see, persuasion for me. That's so 19 in total.
Okay. Blackleaf, I'll get you to make a persuasion check as well. And Anatoly, what did you roll?
15.
Okay, that's 2 successes. Blackleaf?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Anybody else talking?
Patricia's gonna say, "I have stuff to do," and she is going to then just say, "Oh, and by the way, the busted roos on your town are fixed. The busted roos of your town are fixed now. Welcome."
While they're talking, Joe here is going to walk off somewhere for a moment. Just I don't know.
Patricia's walking right out the front door. If you want to follow, fine.
Richie, give me a persuasion check as well.
Okay.
Russell, I looked at the wrong modifier, so my performance is actually a 15.
That's okay. No worries. That's
My persuasion.
yeah. That's still a pass. Richie?
20 total.
Yeah. Sorry. What did you get there, sir?
20 total.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so we've got 4 out of the 6, so a majority pass. Ivan sits back and he says, and that the sigh is quite audible, and he kind of looks around, and the other village elders kind of give him the nod, and he goes, "Okay, fair adventurers, our fate is in your hands, but as you can see, our humble village is open to attack. We leave everything to you." And with that, he kind of stands up and he nods at the other elders, and they kind of walk off and just leave Laura standing there in the town hall with you guys.
I'll turn to Laura and just kind of, so, where do we start? What do you need?
Well, when Calveri comes, he comes from all sides, and he comes with many men. We need to... I'm not a military tactician, but we need to make it harder for him to come into our village. I was hoping that you would be able to help with those preparations.
He comes
Taylor-
from all sides at once.
He attacks from the west and from the east and from the north out of the woods as well.
Military tactics. Nice.
And how often does he come?
He's been coming for a few years. The visits are becoming more frequent and more violent, and the mayor seems to be making excuses for them. And now that the snow is melting, they expect Calvera to be coming soon.
Tallow says, "What's the safest place in the whole village? Like the place where if you had to hide, just you, where would you hide?"
The Temple of Timora has a basement. That's where we usually put the children when Calvera comes.
That's what I was thinking. You're really smart.
Thank you, sir.
I could set up a. I could set up a. I could set up a trap that you'd easily be able to activate. That way, if anyone tries to go down into the temple without permission, well, they won't be walking out of the temple.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Just make sure the trap doesn't hurt the kids. You don't want the temple falling or anything like that. That'd be awful.
I mean, as long as the kids don't go to the temple basement without permission, they should be fine.
So, how would we do it so that the kids don't get hurt? Perhaps we need to think about. Usually, the kids aren't allowed into the Temple of Tamora. We just send them into the basement when Calvera comes. But what would be the best way to make it as safe as possible?
Definitely set up some kind of trap. Maybe not that. Oh, they need permission because they're kids. They're gonna be scared. They're not gonna be able to remember that sometimes.
I mean, I was just thinking I would set up a few scythe blades to go off after the trap has been activated. If anyone steps on a pressure plate in the floor, if the kids are in the basement, they won't be coming up the stairs. And anyone that's going to go down the stairs that knows about the trap will know how to disarm it beforehand.
Well, shall we get started then, Blackleaf? It sounds, and for the first time she kind of perks up. She goes, "It sounds wonderful." You know?
Nice.
We love a fighter.
And she turns to the rest of you. What do the rest of you have in terms of protecting us?
I mean, figure out if we can use some sort of
Joker's
wall
off in the
or-
back somewhere, like, oh, one moment, I'm just putting on my face. Yes, just putting on my face, and he'll, given how much time we've probably been here, his disguised self is probably wearing off, so he'll just use it again.
Can I do an insight check on Drakir?
Yes, on who you want to do it on?
Jokir, just because it's shady.
Gotcha. Yes, certainly.
So that's a 17.
Okay. Yeah. So, Joker.
Do I roll against this or something? Because I went off to the back for this.
Yeah, let's make it a contest. Perhaps roll a defense. See if you can beat the 17.
I don't know. I don't know which stat you want me to roll for this.
It'd be deception, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Deception or performance?
Deception.
All right.
Oh, you can choose deception or performance, whichever is your higher one. I don't mind.
Either way, I rolled a natural 17 plus deception is 4 and performance is 6, so it's either 23 or 21.
Okay, so the Anatoly, I'm afraid it's kind of a little bit up in the air. It looks as if you're seeing Joker in all his glory.
All right.
Okay. So, what are the rest of you going to do to kind of fortify the town?
Hugo would like to go and examine the tower and see if it's usable.
Okay, so you're going to the one that's been burned, right?
Yes.
I'll go with him.
Okay, so I'm just going to make some notes here. It's going to be Easy and Rob heading towards the tower. We're going to have Crystal heading towards the temple. Okay. What are you doing, Rich?
When everybody gets outside, they'd see that there have been earth mounds mounded up against the buildings. There is, and the tower appears to have been at least structurally fixed.
So you can see Laura goes up to somebody and goes, "I told you this was the right thing to do." And like there's people kind of like looking around and like nods of heads are starting to be seen. Justin, what is Joker doing?
Joker is going to, you know what? He doesn't see this stuff a lot, but like in his line of work, you know, sometimes there could be people who are more sympathetic to the bad guy and or maybe inside people helping them out, sort of thing. So he wants to see if he could try to flesh out anyone who might fuck this over from the inside.
Okay,
and deal with that.
sympathizers, if I hear you.
Well, not just sympathizers, but like bootlickers.
Hello.
Just anybody who would try to shaft this from the inside.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, no worries. So Rob, I've got you going to the tower. Andrew, what's Tallow doing?
Tallow is also interested in the tower because they're looking for a vantage point to rain arrows down on people. So they're looking for high ground.
Okay, so I'm going to go. We'll go in cycles here. So we're going to follow Easy, Rob, and Tallow to the tower initially. So you're walking back out of the town hall, head southwards to Main Road. You can see the commerce still taking place on both sides of the road on the open marketplace. To your left, which is the east side, and slightly southwards as well, you can see the burnt out tower. Structurally, it looks a little bit stronger than when you're coming in. For some odd reason, something weird's happened, but it's still not in great. It's not in great shape. As you approach it, you can see that it actually was quite badly attacked. Or it looks like it was quite badly attacked. All the windows have been blasted out of it. There is fire damage all over it. And there's actually a religious symbol of Tamora there, as if it is in respect of something that's happened there. Perhaps something happened there, and they've put up a religious symbol to perhaps in mourning. Yeah.
Is there anyone near? Is Laura nearby, or is there anyone else nearby?
No, she's kind of gone off with the townsfolk now, so she's like kind of promoting. You see, I've done the right thing. Ivan didn't know what he was talking about. Look, it's already looking better. One of them's made structural repairs to almost all the village, and you're kind of getting a lot of positive vibes there. So she's no longer with you.
Okay, and is there any townsfolk nearby that whose attention we could attract?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's some people mulling around.
So I'd like to just attract someone's attention and just quickly ask them what happened here to the tower.
Oh, Master Wizard. I guess you dress like a wizard. They'll just go Master. Oh, Master. You are with the warriors that have come in to protect us. This is where the damage was really done the last time that Calvera came in. This is where he killed the townsfolk right in front of us and set our town tower on fire as an example. It was a bloodbath, yes, sir. An absolute bloodbath. And I look at now and I can only remember sadness. And he kind of bends his head down.
I'll just tap him on the shoulder and tell him that Calvera will pay for his crimes.
He kind of looks up, and for a brief moment, like, the eyes are almost emotionless. This person's been traumatized. They've seen too much for such simple folk. And for just a moment, there seems to be a glimmer of hope in his eyes. And then he kind of puts his eyes down again.
Okay. So I will leave him go back to his business, and then the tower is how many stories tall?
It's 4 stories tall.
Okay. And is any of the inside of it maintained? Is it possible to get up to the floors?
Well, there is certainly a skeleton of the wooden stairs that were spiraling their way up. So you can certainly attempt, but it's certainly not as solid as it should be.
Okay. So I would like to attempt to get all the way up to the roof and see what we can see from up there.
Okay, so that's
Tallow also.
Tallow as well, and Anatoly. Oh,
Sorry. No.
sorry, you're on mute there, Izzy.
My bad. Sorry. Yeah. I was trying to deal with some stuff. What?
Oh, just the other two are going to try climb the tower. The staircase
Okay.
has pretty much been. There's a skeleton of it, but there's a lot of fire damage to it. Just wanted to know what Anatoly is looking to do.
I'll try and climb it. I'm gonna see if I can't use the grappling hook and kind of chuck that up there.
Okay. So you're going to scale it from the outside?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to get you to make a dexterity throw to get the hook up there.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a 5.
No, that's okay. It seems to have caught solidly on the top, Anatoly. Oh, and the bastard in the GM's coming out. But anyway, so you've kind of hooked it up. It seems pretty solid, and you start scaling the walls from the outside. If I can get Tello and is it Hugo? Hugo, yeah. If I can get you guys to make athletics checks, I think would be just fine.
Sure. So there's nothing in the book about this, but if it's wood in there, I have cat's claws. Cats are obviously more able to climb things with wood. Can I have advantage on the roll?
Boom, boom, boom. Let me think about this. So, where are you going to be?
I'm trying to climb the wood scaffolding up the
Yeah,
inside.
I don't want to be unfair, but I'm going to say no, and I'll give you my reasoning, okay? Because you could use the cat claws into some rotted wood.
Yep.
So there's no real
That's-
advantage
it's-
there. Yeah.
There's nothing in the. I have a faster climb speed because of them, but there's nothing in the rules as written about that. So
Yeah,
I just
no.
thought I'd ask.
No, that's cool. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, that'll be a 12 total.
Okay.
4 total for me.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
None of us are getting up there.
Well, I'm definitely not.
The whole
Oh,
tower
it
collapses on
hurts.
top of this.
Okay, so let's start with the
Don't collapse
yeah.
the tower. I'm up here.
Yeah, the die roll that went first was Anatoly. So she's up about 10 foot, and the grappling hook, unfortunately, whatever it was caught on, loosens and it comes tumbling down. I'll let you make a dex or athletics check to kind of like spin out of the fall.
I will take that athletics.
Yeah.
Because that's. Yeah. Modded 20.
Okay, so it's quite comical because unfortunately the grappling hook does come out. You are falling backwards, and quick as like a snap of the finger, you kind of twirl in the air, boom, on both feet, kind of just in a day's work. And whilst that is going up, the 12 is actually a success.
Oh, she should have landed superhero style.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Oh, that screws up your knees so bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I need
That's
those.
only if you actually land on your knees and you don't drop to your knee after landing on your bent leg.
I'm gonna
No?
I'm gonna say that the 12 is a success. Was it Tallow that rolled the 4? Yeah. So
No,
Tallow rolled 4.
yeah. So while Tallow kind of has a stair break as he puts just too much weight on it, and he kind of fall.
Yeah.
Have I got it backwards?
Tallow had the
Tallow-
Tallow had the 12.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Okay, Hugo steps on a piece of wood that unfortunately can't support his weight, and he kind of lurches off sideways. And this is, you kind of hear Tallow behind you, hear like a crack, like a And then I'm going to allow the Elven Wizard to make a Dex roll or Athletics.
Dex, definitely. It's cocked. Let me try again. That's 18.
Okay, no worries. And very much like the athlete that you are, you kind of managed to steady your balance without doing any real damage. But Tello is fairly fleet of foot, and he makes it all the way up to the top.
So I'm just
Guys, it's a
kinda, like,
great
look up.
view from up here.
I, I was gonna
hey.
work my way down from. I was gonna work my way down from the top, mending these steps.
And what we're going to do, what I'm going to say is, whilst you guys are now going to think about how to get the rest up, we're going to cycle through to Blackleaf, who is now in front of this magnificent temple dedicated to the House of Timora.
So I would like to just super quick interject here.
Yes.
I just got a text and I need to dip in about 20 minutes or so. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's okay.
I thought I had this.
That's okay. Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't think we're going to finish today anyways. Next week
Okay.
is not a con. You guys know not a con?
Mhm.
So potentially again in 2 weeks. Is that okay?
That should be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, it works for me.
Okay. Let's just go through with Blackleaf, see what the rogue assassin is up to.
Okay. What Timora is the what you got is
She's the goddess of earth.
okay. All right. So yeah, since it's the goddess of earth, she kind of thinks to herself, well, I guess I'm not very likely to get struck down in this temple.
There is a ominous rumble of thunder just as you think that.
Yeah. So but yeah, I'll proceed inside.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I'll start with looking at where the cellar is. And well, like what does it look like? Like are there stairs going down, and
Yeah.
like is there any kind of like hallway or anything, a door at the end?
Yeah, no worries. So the temple itself is very grand. The townsfolk or the village folk have certainly put in a lot of expense, considering the again the basicness of the village. As you walk in, it's quite a large entry hall. There is a lot of marble. There's a lot of fanfare around the inside of the temple. You can see that there are pews. A cleric of Timora is inside meditating. When you do come inside, the cleric hasn't noticed you yet, but there is a cleric meditating inside.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start thinking about this place, like trying to figure out defensively, like maybe if we were to turn these pews like this way or something, we might be able to, like shoot with arrows, have a little bit of protection, that kind of stuff, in case we need to fall back to the temple as like, at the end.
Okay, so the one thing, what? Oh, let me actually get you to make a perception check there, if you wouldn't mind.
Yep, no problem. Leave this up. Sorry, I got to look at my bonus real quick. Okay, yeah. And total of 22.
Okay. There is a stairway leading downwards, and there is a stairway leading upwards, off to the left. They kind of are connecting stairways, so to speak. Nothing so much on the right. So it's very difficult to see what the actual exits are. But as things look right now, Blackleaf, if the doors were bolted from the outside, this really doesn't look like there's nowhere to go. You're inside a cathedral, so to speak. The windows are very high up within the cathedral itself. Yeah, there's an altar, and there's various, I guess, religious items related to the worship of Tamora, but this is, at first glance, looks like a death trap.
Great. Okay. I'm gonna go check on this cellar where they keep the kids at during the time when what's his face arrives.
Okay. So I'm assuming, obviously, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Do you speak to the cleric, or do you just take the stairs down?
I just take the stairs down.
Okay, no worries. You take the stairs down, and it goes down a flight of stairs and leads to a solid wooden door.
Okay. Is there any kind of hallway at all between the door and the stairs?
No, the stairs end, and it ends at the door.
Ugh, I don't like that. Okay. All right. All right. Is the door locked?
Yes, sir. It is locked.
Okay. I'm gonna pick the lock.
Okay. Give me a roll for that, please. Sleight of hand.
Okay. And do I add my proficiency for my thieves' tools as well?
Yes, sir.
Right. So a total of 25.
Oh man, it's just a simple click, and the door swings open.
Okay. Yeah, I put my thieves' tools back, and I'm gonna look inside the room. How big is it?
It's fairly big. It's about 50 by 100 feet for a room.
Oh, nice.
It has been prepared for I think for keeping the children in, because there are on the one side there's some mattresses and bunks. On the other side there are some small benches, sort of low to the ground, in a row, and that's what you see in front of you, and it's all stonework.
How tall is the ceiling from the ground?
Not too tall. It's about 10 feet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Actually, that's like perfect. All right. So that lock could use some work, because that was way too easy on that.
Oh man, it was like a hot knife through butter.
Is the door itself, like, how thick of a wood is it? I mean, it's right up the stairs, so it would actually be hard to bash down. I'm gonna think. How thick is the wood?
It's a solid door. I would say it's about 2 inches thick.
Okay, yeah. Well, if it's right up the stairs, it would be really hard to bash down then.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it even harder. So, all right. And is there anything on this side to like bar the door with?
Not at the moment. It's something that you would have to construct.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that won't be a problem. Okay. So here's the ideas that are going to be running through my head so far for like wanting to fix this up. First of all, if possible, I'd probably talk to the blacksmith and maybe some kind of blueprint to make a better lock. But I mean, I may not have time for that.
Yeah.
As far as simple stuff, I know I can get done. Get some reinforcements on the door. Like simply, all you need is like brackets and then like iron rods. Iron rods, hopefully, if we can get those. If not, then thicker 2x4s will have to do.
Okay. What I'm going to do, Blackleaf, is I'm going to cycle through to Patricia. And then once we're done with Patricia, we'll go through to Joker. And what I may suggest is we may end it there, just because I think that easy, we could do it again in 2 weeks if that's okay with all you guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's hold it there, and let's go through to Richie. Rich, I've got you still outside of the town hall. Richie? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am going to be I'm going to be working on the earth fortifications. Let's see. Not just, like I said, uh, not just fortifying the houses, but carving out ditches and trenches too. And while I'm doing that, um, Starfall
Yeah.
is going to be going down from the top of the tower, from the top of the dilapidated tower, mending the stairs as he goes down.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, and in terms of the fortifications, just explain to me exactly how that's going to work.
Well, she's basically digging the trenches out that that the townspeople could and we could use tactically, and using the earth from digging the trenches out.
But it's going to be done physically, right? It's not going to be done magically.
Mold earth.
Okay, mold earth. That's what I wanted to find out. Okay, cool.
Magically.
Gotcha. Awesome. And then if we can quickly go through to Joker. Joker is looking for sympathizers, etc. What is your approach to this, sir?
I'm just well, pretty much looking to see if just first off, seeing whoever sounds like they have doubt of, well, I'm pretty sure plenty of people have doubt about this plan working, but I'm mostly trying to listen in on not just the ones who seem too cowardly, but some who actually seem like they're complicit.
Okay.
Like almost kind of like they're glad it happened, or maybe even had a hand in what went down. Like any inside people.
Okay. What I want you to do, sir, is roll a perception check for me, please.
All right then. That's a 19.
Okay. You are sort of, I guess, tactically making your rounds around the village of Yulbrina. Something odd does sort of catch your eye. The burgomaster, Ivan, seems to be talking to somebody. He kind of looks up, sees you coming, and puts his arm around the guy and sort of pulls him into sort of deeper into the conversation.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna walk by. I'm gonna just I'm gonna walk by him, and I am going to. I'm just going. Where exactly am I when this is going on?
You're in the south part of town. You've moved more into south of the marketplace. It's a little bit. It's sort of moving southeast. It's sort of towards the stable areas, actually.
Oh, are we by the stables? Like, what am I near?
Yeah, you can see there are stables. It's quite an odd place for the burgomaster to be having a conversation.
All right, I'm just going to now, have I seen any of the stable workers by chance?
I would say certainly.
Let's see. I'm going to try to if there's like an empty stable or something, I'm just gonna try to walk on through, slip in there, and if I manage to do that, I want to disguise self as one looking like one of the stable people.
Okay. I'm going to say if you give me a stealth check, you make it all the way into the stable.
Oh, please be good. That's a 14.
Okay. And I'll say that's acceptable, so you certainly do that.
All right. If the coast is clear, I want to disguise self as like one of the stable people
Yeah.
that I've seen,
Yeah, no worries.
and then if there's like any like brushes or whatnot, I want to get as close as I can to the conversation near the stables while pretending to care for the horse.
Okay. You kind of get close enough to a horse where you're brushing the coat of the horse, and you hear Arvin saying, the arrival of these people might be problematic in terms of our business. Not that I'm a big fan of Calvera, but we have to be really, really careful here. And the guy speaking to kind of nods, and that seems to be the end of the conversation.
I'm gonna give it some time and try to see which way these guys start heading.
As soon as the conversation's heading, they start heading back to the center of town.
Together?
Well, in the same direction, but not together. No, not that they're trying to hide the fact that they are together. Perhaps they are buddies, but they just kind of move on nonchalantly towards the center of town.
I want a Assassin's Creed style, freaking disguise self again as a hat of disguise again as a just random townsperson that I saw, a similar build and whatnot.
Okay, and
and start following the guy he was talking to.
Okay, and I think, guys, that's where we should leave it. It's eight. It's 5 minutes past 8. I've had a good time with you. I just want to make sure that we don't get to a stage where we've one short and it's an important character. So, if you guys are with me, let's call it, because everyone's had their turn in terms of what the character's doing here. I know that the guys at the tower are figuring out how to kind of pull the other two up. There's a raven flying down. I know that Blackleaf's figuring out how to reinforce the door. And I know, of course, that Joker is following these suspicious-looking people. So I think we can leave it there. And I'll just leave it off with a little bit of exit music. I hope you guys had a good time.
Yeah, it was good. Thank you.
So we're good.
Thanks for running.
No worries. We'll do it again in 2 weeks.
Thanks for running. I hope you guys have a good day. Good luck at work, Easy.
Thanks. I need it.
Okay, and Crystal, just to let you know, I've got this thing uploaded. It's 265 megs. I'll put it up on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Just send me the link and I'll share it with my friends.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Alright.
Thank you.
Okay.
I would like to talk.
Beggars?
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Patricia would like to talk with Blackleaf a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
At some point, Patricia is going to discuss the possibility of laying traps in the forest. Basically covered pit traps with possibly spikes in them.
Yeah.
Because she can dig pit traps very easily.
Yeah, and she was actually wanting to talk to you as well, like especially if she sees these mounds. She'd want to know if you could like possibly mold it to where like we could have like little windows to shoot out of, like climb up and be able to shoot out those.
I never really thought of mold earth as being that precise. Basically, you move 5-foot squares of earth.
I mean, I know that, but my character doesn't.
He's gonna say, "Well, you can make little holes in it if you want to. If you want holes, you can dig little holes out of it if you want to shoot. Be able to shoot out the holes."
That'll work.
She'll also go about, if the town has any weapons or tools that need fixing, she'll fix them. She'll try to inspire the townspeople to chip in and stuff like that too.
Okay. I think we still.
On ready for the defense.
I think we pick up next week, and there's a little bit less pressure of the. In 2 weeks, when there's a little bit less pressure of everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Okay.
See ya.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.